Okay. I'm hearing this message from a lot of my peers, I would say, as well. This seems to be exactly the right timing for this. And not just for what's happening, but I feel like we're all on the same page. Because I'm hearing it through everybody in some capacity. Things are accelerating in a way, in a very positive way, but however, right before the great positive change comes, what do I want to call this? The final hurdle. Sometimes you're running a triathlon, or a marathon, or you're running a race of any kind, and you've made a pretty, steady pace the entire time, and like you went a little faster in some parts and you went a little slower in some, but it all equaled out pretty well. And now you're at the point where you can literally see the finish line. You can literally see it. It's in your eyes. And someone once told me when I was very young not to celebrate too early, in a sense, right? You definitely, when you're trying to get things to come into your life and to really like get a different different outcome than maybe you've dealt with before, it's important, yes, that when I say not to celebrate early, I mean don't lose your focus. Don't let the things outside of the racetrack distract you, because that's when things get the loudest. That's when the streamers are all, blowing on confetti in your face, and the people are screaming, "Oh my God, look over here! Oh my God, he's right here! He's right there!" Like you're getting, where you may have had that pace, because things were quiet and things were, you were running through those parts where people don't really like. Very few of the fans and the watchers hang out on the sides of those, sometimes it's throughout, but if it's a long enough track, you're by yourself for some phases of it. And that's kind of like where you can get into a flow state because you're by yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like you get your mojo on because you're doing this all by yourself. You have that focus, you have that vision. You know what I'm saying? Even when you can't see the finish line, it's there because you're envisioning it. You know that the reason you're doing this, even though you can't see it yet, is because of that finish line. And you just peek out the other side of a corner. You just take a turn, right? And you see the finish line. It's there. It's you know what I mean? Like you had that mirage of the sun of thing when it starts to like, make things a little vibratey, but you can see it. You can see that white line just cross that racetrack at the very end. And automatically like a sleeper agent, the people, the distractions, the noises, everything starts to amp up. Everything, your heart rate, you start to notice maybe the people around you who are running with you. And not that it's about winning, right, against them or against you, or, who's going to win, who's going to get first, because a lot of times it's about finishing the race, right? It's more about finishing the race than it is about who wins and who loses and what place did you get. Genuinely, it's about, did you finish the race? So, and the people that know they're trying to distract you know that part. No, they know that part, that the most important thing is to finish the race. So when you get to the closest part, when things are about to change the most and for the best, and you get past that threshold of things you've been, the momentum you've been building to get to where this whole time, they know that that's the moment where then once you pass that, they can't reach you anymore. They can't get to you anymore. Take all this if it makes sense to you. Don't make it fit. But I hope that makes sense. That the choice here it's kind of like what the Oracle says in the Matrix. You didn't come here to make the choice. You came here to understand why you made the choice, right? So the things, the adversities, the distractions, they know that once you make this final choice, there is no access to you anymore. Whatever that means whatsoever. But that you're going to be so changed that you'll be in a different place as them, that you will no longer accept anything less than where you're at. And when people don't grow with you, and they stay where they are, you can either stay with them or you can evolve, right? And I feel, and I say all of this, and I do all of that, imagery to really paint this picture so that you understand the message that I'm seeing here, which is you're gonna have somebody or something or some trigger, person, adversity, something, distraction from your past. You've already either to some degree put it behind you, forgotten about it, let it go, ghosted it, turned it off, stopped that habit, whatever this is for you. And it's gonna try to come back. And I don't want to say test you, but to see if if you really don't want it anymore. But it's going to come in, in the ways that would tempt the old you, the you before all this mess, before the entire, when you were in the thick of it in the marathon, when you had to do nothing but just convince yourself to take the next step, every single thing, every single branch you passed, every single tree you saw, every single crack in the pavement you jumped over with ease. They're gonna try to see if they have a chance with you. The habit has a chance with you. The program has a chance with you. Anything. And you're gonna have the ability, because we all have free will, to choose. You're gonna have the ability to choose. But let me remind you that thing was the thing that preferred you in the old version of you, okay? And I don't want to say people are, or things are malicious in nature always, you know what I'm saying? Like, we're doing these things in life, we're going across these lessons, we're learning these things for ourselves. It has nothing to do with the other person. It's always for ourselves. And if a habit comes back in the form of a person, a thing, whatever, and you are a changed person, you're going to see this clearly. You're going to see this clearly. You're going to see it clearly, and it's going to tell you right away, no, like, pour that cup out, push it away. And I don't mean from a negative space. I don't mean from an arrogant space. I don't mean from a boastful kind of space. I mean from I don't like myself when you're around. I don't like who I am when you're around. And I've done a lot of work to be the person I am, to have the headspace of the person that I am. And if it was meant for me, it would have been here this whole time. And this is going to be something that is really something that was important to you, or really comforted you, or really made you feel safe, whether that, like I said, whether that's just in nature of the type of relationship, like whether it be a type of parent, whether it be a habit, like something you were used to doing to calm yourself down that you knew maybe wasn't in your best interest health-wise, whatever it may be. It may be, like an ex, or like someone you put behind you that was tied to a person you didn't like being, like any of that. There's a lot of this hope that it's gonna be able to appeal to the old you, because that's the only chance it has to survive this. Like, before forcing that thing to evolve or not. Does that make sense? Like, because some people or some things use other things or people to avoid their own evolvement or evolution. Excuse me. And when you deny, when you reject that, when you would rather be all by yourself without the thing or anything it has to offer, that speaks so loud. Because it shows not only them, not only yourself, but the universe that you are changed, that you have changed. That you have changed. And it has to match you. It has to match you in vibration. When you are vibing that high, it has to match you. That's straight physics. That is just straight physics. As much as when I put something out, gravity takes it to the floor. Yeah, you already know that this is something that didn't work in the past, and there was a reason for that. Okay? Now's a really good time for it to show up and be annoying and try to burden you with their burden, even though you dropped your burdens. You let your burdens go, and they know that. It's time. Yeah, you're very magnetic at this time. I feel like it's infectious. It's infectious. Your mood, your confidence, your security, it's infectious. And you know who you are. You know who you are. Just like Eleanor Roosevelt said, nobody can make you feel inferior without your consent. Have a peaceful day.